In 2014, Kevin Love was coming off his best season for the Minnesota Timberwolves, making him an attractive target for teams looking to make the next step toward a championship. Enter the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry's boys had just been handed a 4-2 series loss to the Clippers, and the Warriors were looking to make an upgrade. As you can imagine, Love represented a serious option. The proposed trade, which Golden State seriously considered, would have sent David Lee, Klay Thompson, and either a first-round pick or Harrison Barnes to the T-Wolves for Love and Kevin Martin. The Wolves would eventually trade Love to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he would team up with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, and go on to win the 2016 NBA championship. Considering that the Warriors have now won 4 championships with Klay Thompson and the crew, you have to assume their fans are very happy this didn't go through, but what about the Timberwolves? Would having Klay Thompson instead of Andrew Wiggins give them the juice they need to enter the promised land? Let's roll back the clock, let that trade go through, and see if either team can win a championship after making this a blockbuster deal. All right, so there were several ways this could have gone down. So one option was that they were going to flip a player for a first-round selection, so someone else from the Warriors for a first-rounder from the Timberwolves, if I am reading stuff correctly. Another thing was that they might include Harrison Barnes. And then the other one was that they might look for a third team to get Minnesota a first rounder. Now, what we're going to do in this is we're going to take the Harrison Barnes trade just because it's simpler, it's cleaner. But to make it work, we do have to include Ronny Turiaf, who was not included originally. It was originally just supposed to be Kevin Martin and Kevin Love, the two Kevins for Klay Thompson, David Lee, and then one of those third options. We're going to go with Barnes here. And then we're just going to make this trade. And then I guess I'll see you at the All right, I said I'd see you at the end of the season, but let's actually look at these two teams real quick. So as you can see here, Klay Thompson becomes the best player on the team at an 82. So they go from a 90 overall as their best player to an 82. So they're in like full-on tank mode, which could be good for the 2015 season. I don't have the draft class off the top of my head. Let me see if I can quickly find it. So this draft, actually Minnesota drafted, so they got Karl-Anthony Towns. So that would be the prize, I guess, in this draft. Yeah, it actually looks like, Devin Booker is probably the actual best player looking at it. I think that's true. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But yeah, it looks like probably the big winner there was either maybe Porzingis for a while, but I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit. And then either Devin Booker. There's some, but anyways, the point being, this team can now kind of tank a little bit more to get some players, which is what they did in real life because they did trade Kevin Love away eventually anyways. But here they add Klay Thompson, who's a much younger player, to add to the roster. So maybe he would pair better with someone like Karl-Anthony Towns. They still have Rubio, which is solid. David Lee can help bridge the gap, I guess. They have Corey Brewer, good defensive player. And then, of course, as we all know, there he is, Shabazz Muhammad. He's probably going to turn around anytime, right? But then over here on the Warriors, of course, now we have dual 90 overalls at 25 years old, so still pretty young. Kevin Love not that much older than Klay Thompson. Of course, with the way the NBA trended, you could argue, I think most people would argue Klay Thompson is a much more effective player in the modern NBA, but this team is still pretty solid. They have Draymond here, young Draymond, and now they have, they do have a shooter to go in Klay's spot, but he's not. Obviously, Kevin Martin, his best years are behind him at this point. Same with probably Andrew Bogut. But they have a chance. They have not a bad chance. But yeah, so we're going to send to the end of the season and see how these teams do. So I will catch you back when we are there. Just jumping back in one more time. I did actually misspeak. It is not the Cat draft. This is the Embiid Wiggins, who ended up going number 1 overall and would have gone to I think he went to the Minnesota. So they still did get a top pick, but this is this draft, not the draft I thought it was. But anyways, Dusty Rhodes? Oh my goodness. Is that Dusty or is that Gold Dust? Is that a real person? Is Dustin Rhodes a real person? Hold on, I'm sorry. I have to check this really quickly before we can jump to the end of the season. I'm not seeing Dustin. So I guess someone is just a fan of the America Dream and putting him in this roster. All right, so we will go ahead and jump to the end of the season now for real. Okay, and what is becoming quite the theme of this era of saves, maybe we should jump to a different era for our next one of these. But anyways, LeBron picks up another MVP, averaging 30, 9.5, and 11. I need to check and make sure there aren't anything weird happening. Obviously we're in 2026 and not 2014, but that's just a thing that happens in this thing. But hopefully there's not anything strange like settings wise. So I'll have to check that real quick after this is over. But We'll go and let it go through the first season and see how wild it can get, and then we'll see if we need to fix things from there. Victor Oladipo is your Rookie of the Year for the Magic. Manu Ginobili, another stalwart player at this award. The Sixth Man of the Year goes to Manu. LeBron, Defensive Player of the Year. Again, not super surprising. Jordan Hill gets your Most Improved Player. Jordan Hill, 12 and 10. What a season from that man. Rick Adelman is your Coach of the Year, and Aaron Phillips is your Executive of the Year. So let's look at this stuff. Okay. Derrick Rose, very nice to see him up here. LeBron, of course. Blake and Boogie. Second team, we got Dwight, PG, KD, Curry, and Dwayne Wade. So there's okay. So Kevin Love does make third team. You'll notice there's no who's it? Klay Thompson here. So he did not make it up to the All-NBA just yet, which is not too surprising. He needs a couple of years of seasoning, I think, before he can get there. LeBron, D Wade, both on the Miami Heat, or not Miami Heat. Of course, they're on the all-defensive team. And then nothing too surprising here. These rookies, okay, yeah, everything makes sense. Look at them. The Sixers got a couple of good rookies out of them. I remember thinking Alex Len was going to be a big deal, but he's fine. He's a good role player, but has never turned into an all-star like I thought he might be. And then here we go. Dennis Schroeder got absolutely destroyed in the third quarter tonight by Ja Morant, just to date this episode a little bit. But that's not here. That's neither here nor there. Let's see how the playoffs went. Okay, let's look up my Houston Rockets that I'm controlling. The reason I'm controlling them is because for some reason it wouldn't let me progress unless the Rio Grande Valley Vipers had enough players. And so I had to get onto them as well as onto the Bobcats. So I might jump off the Rockets here after this. But we had to make sure that their G League team, I never had that happen before, but it was a weird one. You also notice some of these, the Bobcats, you can see it for sure. Is that new? I'm not sure, but the Pistons, that's their old logo. I could be wrong, but some of these logos look old, which is strange, but what can you do? Okay, let's look at some stats. I won't do stats every year, but I like to at least look at the first year or two just to see how our teams are looking. Now, if we can get to the Warriors. Okay, so unsurprisingly, both of our star players having huge years. Also, Kmart getting 15 points. And he started 71 games, so he's playing quite a bit, even with Iggy out there too. Draymond getting in the mix some. So it's not just Kevin Love starting everything. Draymond's getting in there. Bogut's still playing well. What about, how did our man Ronnie Turef did nothing, and so did Jermaine. Okay, and over on the Timberwolves, Klay, of course, leading the team with 23 points. Were they any good? Let's actually look at the standings to see how the Timberwolves fared as far as in the actual league. T-Wolves. Grizzlies are the 9 seed. The Timberwolves are the 13th best team. So the Jazz and the Suns were still worse than them. And also maybe, the Magic and the Bobcats were also worse. So they weren't the worst team, which is good. They're the 5th or 6th worst team. Let's see if the Warriors can get through this first round of the playoffs. They did make it through this Portland team. This Portland team should be the Brandon Roy. No, this is Dame. This is Dame in LA era. Okay. And they have Robin Lopez, Batum. Okay. Nice. There's Mo Williams. People will remember him from the LeBron saves, of course, with the Cavs. Okay. Golden State has Sacramento, which is an interesting team. Who do they even have? They have Boogie, of course. But then a bunch of, I shouldn't say scrubs. They have a bunch of not as highly rated players. And then, they have IT, so I don't know why he's coming off the bench, though. That's interesting. Okay, we'll see. Can the Warriors make it past the Kings? You would expect them to, but I was expecting and I was incorrect. The San Antonio Spurs also are through. Who else? The Miami Heat, the Toronto Raptors. Who does the Toronto team have? That's Miami. Oh my, Kyle Lowry, DeRozan, Rudy Gay, Valanciunas. Oh, this is a pretty solid little team they got going on here. But I don't know how they're going to fare against these Heat. Although, having Udonis has them starting. I mean, I know he's fine in real life, but 69 overall, not the best. And they have Birdman backing him up. Greg Oden coming off the bench. This was this era of the Heat. D Wade. Oh, that might be why he's wait. Oh, D Wade. So Would they have Ray Allen come off the bench? I guess they would, huh? Okay, so we'll have to see how this goes. I guess we'll just sim through the rest since we don't have either of our teams involved. And it's going to be Heat Spurs. That might have, I think the Spurs won the year before, so this might be the Spurs year. Again, the Spurs have won. Tony Parker picking up your finals MVP. Not that surprising. This Spurs team, as you can see, very solid across the board. Manu, of course, coming off the bench. We knew that from earlier, but this is the Kawhi, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker. Yeah, they're very solid. This is like exactly when you wanted to capture them. Of course, Matt Boner on the team. Can't forget about him. But yeah, that Heat team, I think Dwayne Wade was injured for part of it, or at least, well, maybe not, because there he is. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Let's move on. Let's move on to the offseason, and we will see how the Warriors and the Timberwolves look at the end of this offseason. Okay, the Warriors did make a move. They went out and got J.R. Smith, which is very good. Now, here's one of the issues they could run into, and it's not Andre Bloch. It is that Draymond Green is not starting because Kevin Love is obviously there, and the big thing for them is that they could use him moving up the ranks some to be kind of that glue guy like he is in real life. I mean, he's only 6'6", so he could probably play small forward if they need him to. Of course, in real life, I wouldn't play him there, but in this, you maybe could. The issue is that he does not have that as a secondary position, and they just don't have a ton of, Kevin Love's kind of a short power forward as it is, and then Draymond's even shorter, so a very interesting mix with them. They have Kevin Martin. He's quickly deteriorating. Jay Crowder. Just does not look like this trade so far is working out for the Warriors. Now, they do have Steph Curry ascending, so that could be good. Now, let's look at the Timberwolves. Klay Thompson up to an 85 overall. Harrison Barnes also up to a 78. So they have some pieces that are growing, especially if Ricky Rubio keeps growing. And they drafted Nikola Jokic. So that could be huge. And they grabbed Danny Granger. And that's Derek Williams. Okay. So, oh boy, this might have been, win Timberwolves already, because if they compare Klay Thompson and a improving Harrison Barnes with Jokic, this team could be real gross real quick. Of course, Klay only has a year left. I believe so does Harrison Barnes. So we could see them leave, but we'll have to wait until the end of this season to see what that happens. So let's sim to the end of this season and see how things turn out. All right, another near triple-double for LeBron. I checked the stats, the sliders, everything looked normal, so I didn't mess up anything there. He is just an otherworldly player, I guess. You probably already knew that. But anyways, LeBron picks up his second MVP of the save. Zach LaVine for the Suns is your Rookie of the Year, averaging 28 points as a rookie, which seems broken. Also, LeBron shooting 46 from... maybe the percentages are off? Because I don't know, that seems high. Jokic, 6th man of the year. So I'm guessing, Jokic is 6th man of the year, but not rookie? Okay, so Jokic playing for the Timberwolves picks up 6th man. LeBron gets another defensive player of the year. CJ McCollum is your most improved. Spoelstra is your coach of the year. And Truman, who I'm assuming is executiving? The executive for the Heat is your executive of the year. So let's look at these teams. D-Wade hurt again, and he's day-to-day, so that's not terrible for them. We have Anthony Davis on the list now. James Harden up there, very good for him. Chris Paul has joined the Mavericks. Drew Holiday on the Clippers. Anything else surprising here? Steph Curry does make third team. Wow, okay, that seems low for him. Kawhi, KD. Dwight Howard joined the Trailblazers. So there has been some movement in this save. Rajon Rondo joined the Knicks. Okay, this one has gotten pretty volatile pretty quickly. So this could get interesting very, very quick. All right, all rookie. We knew all this stuff. Oh, Jabari Parker, love to see him not injured and on the list. Joel Embiid playing for the Celtics. Perfect. Who else? Aaron Gordon also on the Celtics. Wow, the Celtics had a haul of a draft, didn't they? Julius Randle ended up exactly where he should have been. Here's Dustin Rhodes, the young Dusty Rhodes. He makes second team all rookie. All right, let's look at the playoff picture. Golden State's up to this 2 seed, and Minnesota themselves are a 6 seed. Let's look at this Minnesota team. Ricky Rubio, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, David Lee, Nikola Pekovic and Djokovic coming off the bench. Danny Granger. So no moves, nothing too surprising. Now this is Dallas team. Can we look at them? Because Chris Paul joining them is wild. Chris Paul, Monta Ellis, Bojan Bogdanovic, Dirk, Ashik. Oh no, they are really good. Mike Miller, Clint Capella, Dougie McDermott. Oh no, Memphis, do you have a chance? Oh, Mike Conley, please help us. Wait, they don't have Mark? Mark. Oh no, he's just hurt. Okay. What about, okay, this is the other one that's important to look at is this Thunder team. Katie's still here. Katie and Russell both still there. So that's good if you're a Thunder fan. Okay, let's look at, no, wrong one. I want to look at this. Okay, so the Warriors, Steph, J.R. Smith, Kmart. Draymond is starting now. Bogut, oh, actually is, Love might be injured. Yeah, Love looks like he's injured. And then can we look at this Clippers team? Because they lost Chris Paul. So who do they have? Drew, JJ, Jared Dudley, and then Bargnani and DeAndre Jordan. So that must mean that Blake is hurt. Yeah, Blake Griffin's hurt. Okay. And then can we look? So this Heat team, still gross. Oh, they added Powell. Did they get rid of D-Wade? No, Dwayne Wade's hurt. We knew that. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, what? The Bobcats made the playoffs. Hold on. Who do the Bobcats have? Kimba, Al Jefferson, MKG, Gerald Henderson. Okay. I can see this being a fringe playoff team if not winning anything. Of course, really going up against the Raptors, who have a much better squad. Okay, let's sim this first round. See if both of our... Actually, I didn't put this together before, but Golden State could play the Timberwolves in the first round or in the second round. So let's see if that happens. Fingers crossed. Nope, Portland is destroying them. Portland destroys, just absolutely dominates Minnesota. It's too bad. All right, so, okay. Can the Golden State Warriors continue their run? No, Portland is going to go through and play Dallas. Also, Miami gets beat by Cleveland, who has Kyrie, Jarrett Jack, AI, Tristan Thompson. Okay. So maybe a much more balanced team than the Heat have, even though the star power. Let's see who wins this playoffs. Can Dame get them a championship? It's a 3 seed, a 4 seed. We're going to add some, oh no. Is Cleveland going to win without LeBron? Uh-oh, no, maybe not. Uh-oh. Oh, Portland are your NBA champions. Damian Lillard, Finals MVP. Look at this squad. They'll never have to buy a drink again. Oh, because they added Dwight. I forgot. That makes sense. Okay, very good. That's a lot of times when you see, oh, big babies here. A lot of times you see these same teams winning, even as it was in real life, even if it's not like the same order. So like by that, I mean, a lot of times you see Miami winning, or OKC who should have won, but didn't. So it's good to see a new face. Even though it can't be Golden State or Minnesota. Although Golden State would not be a new face, but you know what I mean. We want Golden State to win because that's what the save is about. But instead, we get a Trailblazers win, and I will have to see you at the end of the next season. Or the beginning of the next season, even. Okay, we're looking at the Warriors. Unfortunately, not a lot of movement from them. We're not seeing a lot of progression from Steph, which is surprising. I looked at the progression. It looked fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. But they have not changed much at all. Let's go ahead and look at the Timberwolves. Klay Thompson, on the other hand, is progressing, and so are Harrison Barnes and Jokic. So this team, even though Rubio's kind of languishing, this team is looking pretty gross. They also added Larry Nance Jr. Who else? Anybody else? No other big names that I notice. But yeah, this team could get interesting very quickly. I'll look around this time and see if we can see. I didn't think there'd be any trades in the second season, or big free agent changes in the second season. So I'll look for that real quick before we go to this into the season. But if I don't find anything, I will see you at the end of the season. Well, I found something. I don't know if I would call this a big move because KD went from, I would say, a good Thunder team. If you can see the Thunder, like this team is pretty solid, to this, which is not as good. But KD did change teams, so sorry, Oklahoma City. Those hopes for a championship have probably gone away. Let's see if I can find any other nuggets to show you before we jump to the end of the season. All right, this one actually is a doozy. So as you can see, the big three in Miami is completely broken up. LeBron is still here, but he has lost his running mates. He has added, however, Tony Parker on a massive contract, and Marcin Gortat on also a big contract, and he still has Powell. And they went, I don't know why I thought that was Grant Hill, but they went and got George Hill. Now, here's where it gets interesting, is that we go to New York. And New York now has Carmelo, D-Wade, and Rondo, and then a bunch of, I don't know if I'd say scrubs, but young players and definitely like role players, which I guess is what Miami was doing, so it could work. And here's the other thing is Chris Bosh and Anderson Varejao have joined Kobe to form a trio of oldies, which should make for a very interesting team out of them. They don't have too much in the way of depth, but yeah, they could be weird, but that's pretty much all the trades we saw, or free agency moves we saw this season. So I will see you at the end of this season. Okay, he may have lost his running mates, but LeBron is still your MVP. That makes 3 years in a row for the chosen one. Your rookie of the year is Karl Anthony Towns for Milwaukee. Devin Harris is your sixth man of the year. LeBron is your defensive player of the year again. Most improved goes to Gary Harris. Flip Saunders is your coach of the year at a relatively low record. Also, if I'm Flip Saunders, I'm a little mad about that picture and that double chin they gave me. And your executive of the year is Jordan Hobson. Now, interestingly, neither of these players above 60 wins, and it looks like they're the best teams in the league. So nobody broke 60 wins this year? Question mark. Here's your teams. Interesting to have Drew Holiday, a first-team All-NBA player, especially with Steph Curry, Mike. I don't know if Mike Conley's better than Drew Holiday. Those are pretty the same, I would say, like same level of player. Steph Curry is the third team. Kevin Love also the third team. He's hurt day to day, so we could see him fall out of the playoffs if they made it, of course. Defensive team, same people you would expect. Maybe this is an issue for the Warriors where they don't have as many good defenders now. Rookies, Boston Celtics I got to look at that Celtics team actually because that's 2 years in a row they've had two all-rookie players. Wait, Tim Duncan Jr., hello? Is that his son? Oh my. Who could that be in real life? Like, who is the fake player they put in there because they couldn't get someone real? Okay, that's weird. Zach Randolph Jr. What? Zach Randolph's son's here too? Oh no. Okay, let's get into these playoffs. Okay, Golden State's a 3 seed. Minnesota didn't make it. Oh my lord. Wow. Okay, that's not good. Wow. All right, let's look at the standings. How far out were they? Oh no. Oh no, Minnesota's bad. Minnesota's bad. How are they so bad? They look fine. This is like a decent young team. All right, I guess there you go. Okay, here now the important thing though, real quick, before we do these playoffs, I really have to know, who do the Boston Celtics have on their team? Avery Bradley, Joel Embiid, Kristaps Porzingis, Aaron Gordon, Devin Booker. Holy Lord. Can you imagine if this was your draft in back-to-back years? Oh my God. This is incredible. Oh my Lord. Boston. This is the Boston save now. We're probably not going to go too far enough for it to happen. And they have Vince Carter Jr. on the squad. What is up with all these juniors from these fake players? Okay, let's see. Can the Warriors make it out of the first round? Also, I just clocked. OKC did not make it into the playoffs. Who did? And I just saw this over here. The Knicks lost. Oh, what? Oh, is Carmelo hurt? Carmelo must be hurt. Oh, and he's also, he's deteriorated. He went from maybe it's his injury, but he was a 95 at the start of the season, so hopefully he's just hurt and not deteriorating that rapidly. Okay. Can we look at these Pistons? The number 1 seed with the, okay. Well, this is an interesting team. All right. Well-rounded, right? That's what you like to see. Miami. Oh, now this is interesting. So LeBron has proven himself to be the best of the big three because he's the only one who made it out of the first round. I mean, Chris Bosh's team didn't even make it to the playoffs, I don't think. Okay, can Golden State make it past the Mavericks? Remember, that is the team, I believe, with Chris Paul, and Dirk. So, and Monta. It's going to be a tough out for the Warriors. And they do not get anywhere close. Portland, again, up here. I mean, this is silly. Oh, actually, Portland. Somebody hurt? Portland might be in trouble. Yeah, LA's out. Wow. Okay. Who's going to win these playoffs? We'll just go through the whole thing. It's going to be Pistons. Okay, the Pistons versus the Mavericks. Right, sure. Who's going to win this? It is going to be the Pistons. The Detroit. This save is... okay, now, personally, I love this because I love seeing Josh Smith win anything, even if it's a fake award in a video game. But he's the Finals MVP in my heart. But yeah, this save is all over the place. Okay, I will see you back at the start of the next season, and we will see how these teams look heading into our fourth season. We'll probably do 5 as usual, but this save is getting... This is maybe the most wild save I've had so far. So I'll see you at the start of the season. All right, I got some bad news, Golden State fans. Both of your boys have left the building. They went and put Al Horford on a $165 million... I mean, these contracts are just getting silly, which you have to assume is why they lost both guys. But I don't know. We'll have to find them and see where they are. Maybe they went to Minnesota. All right, they did not go to Minnesota, but Minnesota's progressing nicely. They went and added Rudy Gay and Avery Bradley. So Minnesota's actually looking like they maybe won this. They also have Domantas Sabonis, which could be a good pickup for them. Anybody else? Anybody too interesting? Now, we'll flip through. I've already seen one thing we need to see. We, of course, got to see where Steph and Kevin Love ended up, but I have another team I have to show you as well. So we'll definitely be back before we get to the end of the season. So here's a quick one I just wanted to point out. John Wall has joined the Pelicans to team up with Anthony Davis. So this team could be... I mean, they're at least going to have a gross duo, right? If nothing else. Let's see what else we can see. Oh, my God. All right, we found Steph Curry. He joined KD out in Denver. The Denver Nuggets have given almost $300 million to 2 players and also Dion Waiters. So that'll be interesting. All right, now we got to find K-Love and check out one last team I need to show you. All right, we found K-Love. He's over in Washington now, joined Bradley Beal. Of course, they lost, what's his name? John Wall. So not as good as they could have been, but still not bad. They have Pekovic and Fareed. Pekovic was playing for the Timberwolves last year, but obviously now he's moved teams. Okay, I have one more team to show you before we jump to the end of the season. Okay, here it is. So remember last year when the Celtics had, in back-to-back drafts, drafted Joel Embiid, Porzingis, Aaron Gordon, and Devin Booker? Well, now they've added DeMarcus Cousins. So this team's very large, of course, 6'11", 7 foot, 7'3", and Aaron Gordon's a short 6'8". Of course, not short. The thing they're missing, of course, is a point guard. They have DJ Mullins, who's not terrible, but no one like that can... Oh my God, they have Meta World Peace too. But no one that's like really popping off the page. But this team is very young and very good. So if I was to keep going, I would assume they were going to be the one to watch. Although all these guys are on like 1-year deals, so maybe they're going to lose a couple of them at the end of this season. But, having all these young players on the same team at once is pretty wild. Anyways, I'm going to jump to the end of the season, so I'll see you then. He can't keep doing this. LeBron is MVP for the 4th year in a row on another nearly triple. I mean, this man he's untouchable at this point. This is getting boring. Okay. Rookie of the year, Ben Simmons with a solid season. That field goal percentage way too high. Although I will say that 3-point percentage and that free throw percentage looks about right. Devin Harris is your 6th man of the year. I hate when we can't just get a different pose. You can't have it in here where, hey, we're going to give different poses to these guys. No. Okay. LeBron, defensive player of the year again. Tim Duncan Jr. Tim Duncan's son is your most improved player. Sure. Though this Tim Duncan can apparently shoot from 3 a little bit. Coach of the year goes to Flip Saunders. Again, his lawyer needs to talk to somebody about that picture. Again, teams are very close to each other in overall or in ability, because 56 wins being the max seems pretty low. And Nathan Mack is your executive of the year. Okay. Chris Paul's still playing in the Mavericks. I did see Dirk left, so they're not going to be as good. Of course, still no. I mean, I don't assume anybody. I mean, yeah, especially from the Warriors, I don't assume anybody's going to make one of these teams. But maybe the what are they? The Timberwolves. Isaiah Thomas, good for him. Kemba Walker for the team we're controlling. Also, why did I think it said 94? I was like, Isaiah Thomas up to 94. That's impressive. KD, of course. I spoke too soon. Nikola Jokic, third team All-NBA here already. But he did break his leg. So if they're in the playoffs, they could be in trouble. All right, usual suspects here. Nothing too surprising. Nice to see Serge up there. Anthony Davis making his ascent. Also, Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah. I don't know why I keep saying Joakim. Joakim Noah is up here still. He's been very consistent, which, I mean, he's fine in real life, but he definitely fell off after a bit. Okay, anything surprising from these rookies? I mean, Rudy Sanders, not a real person, I don't think. Also, a 5'10 player in 2K being good. I mean, come on, that's never happening. But he healed. Oh, that's interesting. The OU player went to play for Oklahoma City in this save. That's good for them. All right, so that's pretty much all of that. Let's look at this playoff picture. Portland still is dominant. An interesting world where because they've added, who is it? They've added, I was going to say because they've added, where is he? Oh, there's Dwight. Dwight's hurt. Okay, because they've added Dwight, they've become like a powerhouse, which is wild. You know, that didn't happen to anybody in real life. I mean, they were, yeah, whatever. Okay. Minnesota is a 4 seed, so good for them. Looking pretty good, although it looks, because Jokic is hurt, they're going to be struggling a little bit, I think. They probably won't. What's this Rocket team look like? I mean, they do have James Harden. They have Blake Griffin, Chandler Parsons, Rocco. So, yeah, they could struggle, but hopefully they can make it out the first round. Golden State's, of course, not here. I'm trying to remember where some of those guys played. I know Steph went to the Denver Nuggets. They're not here. And then, okay, Celtics. How's that team looking? Okay. Whoo, mama. Has Joel Embiid ever worn a headband? Has that ever happened? I don't think that's true. I don't think that's a thing. That seems like fake news. Yeah, okay. Meta World Peace. Meta World Peace. Oh, this team's not bad either. Holy smokes. Some of these young teams, Goran Dragic, Jarrett Jack, Andrew Wiggins, Thaddeus Young, Cat, Larry Sanders, Deron Williams, Chris Middleton, they still got Giannis. Okay, wow. Okay, so we got two. Oh, and Meta World Peace Jr. What is happening? Why is this save doing this? Yeah, so these two are like the teams of the future right now, but I don't know if they're going to stay together. Now, what about this Heat team real quick? Okay, they're not terrible. They have a chance. All right, let's go ahead and sim to this first round, see if Minnesota can make it past the Houston Rockets. I have to assume they probably won't because Jokic is out, and yeah, they're out in the first round, so nothing good there. Boston making it through again. Detroit in the conference finals again. Houston versus New Orleans. So this Houston team, of course, pretty solid. What does this New Orleans team look like? Oh, yeah, they added John Wall. And also Big Eyes Edgar Carney, who's, I don't know who that is. Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam. Yeah, pretty solid little team here. Can they beat Houston, though, is the real question. Let's sim through this round. Houston is... No, New Orleans goes through. So New Orleans versus the young Celtics get a chance to win a championship. But it looks like... Oh, no. It looks like we got some injuries here. Who's hurt? Aaron Gordon, potentially hurt. Joel Embiid, of course, coming off the bench, their sixth man. DJ Mullins with that wild hair. How is this going to go? We're going to go slow because we haven't been able to go slow all season because... oh my God, are they going to sweep? Okay, they didn't sweep. The Celtics need this W. Oh no, it's going to go to New Orleans. The Celtics need this W because they're going to lose all these players. It's a game 7. Who's it going to be? The Celtics have won with their young team behind Boogie and the youngsters. What a way to go. Look at this team. They're so young. Devin Booker, Kristaps Porzingis, Joel Embiid, and Aaron Gordon, plus Boogie Cousins, and my man Jeremy Lamb, and who else? Anybody else I like? Not really. Okay. Oh, wait. Do they have a junior? No. Okay. All right, so the Celtics are your champions. I gotta say, early reports so far. We'll do one more season, but the early reports are this trade worked out for neither team. It was a good move to not do it by the Warriors. Of course, they turned into a dynasty in real life, and in this save, they have turned into nothing. So obviously, they made the right move in real life. I mean, I don't think anyone assumed they wouldn't, but we'll give them one more year. Maybe they could turn it around. We'll see. I'll see you at the start of the next season. All right, I'm showing you this just to show it to you. This is the Warriors nowadays. They don't even have Draymond, I don't think, or if they do, he is fallen off completely. No, Draymond left. They do have Dougie McDermott, which is great to see. But yeah, this team is not too good. Let's look at the Timberwolves. A lot better. A lot better. In fact, I mean, I don't know. Their current roster is not constructed super well, but yeah, I would take this roster over their current roster. I was thinking about it, I was like, man, Anthony Edwards is so good, and I like Cat when he's on. If they could ever get Gobert to get his head on straight, maybe they'd have something there, but this roster is definitely better. It's a lot better. Yeah, okay. All right, I will look around other teams, see if we have any other trades, because this save has kind of gotten away from us. I mean, the Timberwolves are fine. The Warriors suck. So this save can't really be about them anymore. I mean, I guess if this save's about anybody, it's about the ascendants of the Portland Trailblazers. But for now, I'm going to look around and see if there's any other trades or free agent moves to keep you aware of. All right, here's one. LeBron went and signed with Dallas, which is an upgrade, I guess, because the Dallas team was really bad. But this team's pretty old, to be honest with you. I mean, who do they have? Not really anybody. Oh, is that Anthony Randolph, of course? Man, this is 2017 and he's only 28 years old. Jeez, can he come back in the league, please? I love that man. But yeah, so this is LeBron's new team. We'll see how he does. So let's look for other moves. All right, now this is something I do want to point out real quick. I was worried that all these young guys would leave after winning a championship, but actually they have all... they have all stayed for one more year, and then they went and signed Jason Tatum, who in the game only has a B- potential, which is kind of strange. But yeah, so they still don't have a point guard, but they do have Jason Tatum, and they have Raul Neto. So yeah, this they might win it again. I don't know. But yeah, we'll look for other teams real quick. It does not matter where he plays. He just keeps winning MVPs. LeBron 5 straight. Jeez Louise. I guess if Steph Curry does not keep Klay Thompson on his team, he doesn't ascend to becoming an All-NBA player or an MVP level player. And we just have to endure this reign of LeBron, reign of terror. Jarrett Allen, your rookie of the year for the Bobcats. That's me. Joel Embiid is the 6th man of the year. LeBron James, defensive player of the year again. D'Angelo Russell gets most improved player. Rick Adelman and Jordan Hobson. All right. Here are your teams. Nothing too surprising there. Any big surprises? Tim Duncan Jr. What is this? Who is he? Okay, whatever. NBA third team. No surprises there. I mean, D'Angelo Russell actually being third team All-NBA is pretty surprising, I should say. Cat play for the Bucks. They're also another really good young team. Yeah, everything's pretty simple or pretty standard. Yeah, okay. Everything is that okay. What the okay, never mind. I don't care. We're through. We're getting through this. All right, we're gonna make it through. All right, here we go. All right, let's look at the playoffs. Okay. Minnesota is the 2 seed going against the Kings, who is a beatable team. They do have IT and Jeff Green, Trey Lyles, and Nerlens Noel, but this Timberwolves team looks pretty solid now. They've added Avery Bradley. It's still, they could use a power forward here, or actually someone might be hurt. They have Sabonis. So they have not only are they have players in their prime, like Klay Thompson probably pretty close to his prime, Nikola Jokic pretty close to his, I don't know, he probably has a year or two in his prime, but Rudy Gay pretty close to his prime. They have some good veteran type players as well as upcoming depth in Sabonis. And I mean, even you could even add Jokic to that list, right? Or Avery Bradley. I mean, Larry Nance Jr. never going to turn to a superstar, but still a very solid player. And they also have, I wanted to point out, Andrew Bynum still in the league somehow. How is he still here? How is he still here? He's been hanging around for years. For years. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Any other standout teams? I mean, Portland's dropped down to a 3 seed. This Dallas team that added LeBron now is the number 1 seed. Boston is the number 1 seed. They are looking quite good. Of course, their only issue is no point guard still. But the fact that they have an 89 overall player coming off the bench and their 7th guy is an 82 overall, you got to like their chances there. But let's see. Are the Nuggets in it? No. Can I actually check real quick? Sorry, I need to make sure and know this for a fact. Yeah, KD still plays for the Nuggets. So KD and Steph Curry are just languishing out here in no man's land, making a ton of money. But, I mean, what? Can we check? Where do they finish in standings? This is their last season, so we might as well dig in deep. The Nuggets were 43-39, so just outside the playoffs. So 1 game away from making it. They got beat out by this team, which is, oh, mama. This team is also good. Jeez Louise. They also have Lonzo? Oh, no. There are some super teams out here, guys. These teams are getting really gross, really good, and I don't know how. Let's see who makes it through the first round. All right, Minnesota does make it through. So does Boston. We have our eye on Boston. Okay, this is the battle of the young team again. They played last year. The young teams with no point guard. I should say no. I mean, look, I should not say no point guard about Deron Williams. That's very rude. But these teams are both young. They have like lots of good draft picks. And also they have nobody playing the point guard. What is that? Orlando lost. Okay. To these Toronto Raptors. Wait. Yeah, Toronto. Who has... Okay, so it's Carmelo, Jonas Valanciunas. Okay, yeah. All right. So can Minnesota make it through the second round? Let's see if that can happen. They're playing Portland, who have been very good. They did make it through. Also, Memphis made it through over Dallas. This Memphis team, of course, still has Mike Conley and Zebo and Marc Gasol and a freaking sick-looking Bobby Portis. Oh, my gosh. He's so cool. I wish I could be that cool. Hernan Gomez, Dylan Brooks. Oh, the dynasty is here, y'all. What else? Nobody else really. So you gotta. I mean, this is. Am I speaking out of turn to say that the Timberwolves should smash this team? Because they should smash this team, even with a hurt Larry Nance Jr. Now I also have to point out that Boston got ran out of town in 5 by Milwaukee. Did they have anyone injured? Not really. Actually, yes. Boogie was hurt, so that could be the major reason there. But yeah, so let's see how Minnesota does. We're going to go slow because we haven't had a really good chance yet. Can Minnesota win us a championship? I would have thought it would have been Golden State, if anybody. But maybe Minnesota can make it out. Minnesota does make it out. Jokic is the conference finals MVP. They're playing the Bucks. The young upstart Bucks. The young upstart Bucks plus Deron Williams. Are either team have any major injury issues? It doesn't look like it. The one injury here, of course, is Larry Nance Jr. still out. But I don't know how useful he would be. I mean, actually, I think Sabonis is a better player, so I don't know if that's too big of a loss. Let's go game by game and see if the Timberwolves can pull out a win. They get the first game. They get the second game. Is this trade going to have worked out for the Timberwolves just because they were reluctant to drafting Nikola Jokic instead of whoever they drafted originally? What draft would that have been? 2014? Or was he 15? Was he 14 or 15? Sorry to slow things up, muck it up, just waste some more time. I'm not doing this. I mean, listen, I don't make any money from YouTube, so I'm not doing this to get more money out of you or anything like that. I just want to know when Nikola Jokic was drafted. Is he a second-round pick? I gotta search his name because looking through the draft list is going to take too long. All right, Nikola Jokic, 28 years young, 2-time MVP, drafted in 2014. So yeah, so instead of drafting Andrew Wiggins, excuse me, they went and drafted Nikola Jokic. I mean, they maybe got him in the second round. I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right, let's see if they can finish this off. Okay, they're 3 games up. They have 3 games to finish this. The Minnesota Timberwolves are your 2017 NBA champions. So if they had traded away, all right, now I know this sounds like a lot, okay? But if they had just traded Kmart and Kevin Love for Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, and who's the third player? It doesn't matter. Someone that barely played at all. All right, I want to make sure that's true. I want to make sure it's not someone on the team anymore. Someone who's not even on the team. That would have given him the space to go and get Avery Bradley. I don't know why. I don't know why the Celtics let him walk. Rudy Gay, and then draft Nikola Jokic and Domantas Sabonis and Larry Nance Jr. and become the NBA champions. And also Andrew Bynum. Don't look. Okay. Where is this? Look, those 2 points are very important. All right. 2 points, 3 rebounds. Okay. And a block. I bet that block, actually they won 146 to 122. So they absolutely dominated them, but I bet that block was super important. All right. But yeah, so here is your winners. Somehow, some way, one of the teams from this save, the team you probably did not expect, has won a championship. So on that note, on that very, very exciting note, because I did not think anybody was going to win one in this one, I will go ahead and let y'all go. So I'll see you next time.